Good morning and welcome to Self-Care Sunday, where we explore what it means to fill our own cups. Say hello in the chat so I know that you're here for this super important topic. Have you ever decided, yes, I'm going to do something just for me? Maybe it was something a little bit like me. Like I decided I was going to go down by the water and read my book. And within just a few minutes, my mind intruded in my piece. I was like, oh, I should get back home. That list of to-dos just was like running through my head. And I started feeling like a little bit panicky about it because I should be using this time to get that list done. And I started wondering what my family was doing and whether they were hungry, and maybe I should go home and make them a nice, healthy snack. So today we're going to talk about why it's so hard to put yourself on the top of your list. Why do we feel guilty or selfish for taking care of our own needs? And we're going to talk about how to break that cycle. So first, let's do a little visualization. Let's think of us all as jugglers. We are all juggling multiple priorities at any given time. Multiple demands or requirements or tasks that we are keeping in the air with our expert attention. Parents especially become expert jugglers because there are always so many things needing our attention all at the same time. And like even while we're sleeping, we are also caregiving. Like we have a brain cell or two tuned into all of the noises in the house to make sure everyone's okay. Okay, so we go about our day and we're keeping all of our juggling balls in the air, and we are looking mighty skilled. And we are feeling pretty good about ourselves because we are doing an amazing job juggling all of the things that we have to juggle. But then life tosses us a few more balls, like a new project at work, or a parent needing care, or a child who is sick, or a puppy. Why do we do that to ourselves? Okay, and now we are juggling more than we can possibly keep in the air. And we need to drop a couple of these balls. So what are we going to drop first? Well, I can tell you, we're going to drop anything relating to our own needs. Okay, juggling, there goes healthy eating. I'm having a Pop-Tart on the way out. Juggling, there goes my gym time. No time for that. There goes getting to bed at a reasonable time because I'm so busy juggling. So we drop all of the balls so that we can keep all of the rest. We drop all of our own balls so that we can keep all of the rest of the balls in the air. Why? Why don't we drop the extra project ball first? Or some of the things that we do for our kids, or our grown-ass spouse? The answer is always, let's hear it from anyone who's been hearing me preach for more than a minute. Anybody? Old programming. Yes. For those of you who are new to me, your programming is the data that your mind has taken in over your entire lifetime and turned into a set of rules to keep you safe. Most of your programs are formed in childhood and solidified in adolescence, and they are still guiding our behaviors today. So let me tell you a story. When I was little, I had two younger siblings, and back in the 80s, children were just outside and alone most of the time. And I was expected to look after my brother and sister pretty much all the time, or at least it felt like all the time to my little 9-year-old self. And that was kind of like cramping my style, you know? Like my friends would go off to do cool 9-year-old things, and I was just stuck pushing my little 5-year-old sister on the swing. And one day I was in a particularly selfish mood, or you could say the FOMO, the fear of missing out, got too high. And I ran off with my friends and I left my sister there at the park. And I was having so much fun, and I totally forgot about my sister for hours. And when I finally returned home, happy and dirty and like ready for bed, I was greeted by a tear-stained sister and a very angry mother. Now, I don't even remember if I got in trouble. I don't remember if I was grounded for a week. But I do remember this. My mom told me that she was disappointed in me. And I still have emotion thinking about it today. I had disappointed her. I had let her down. I was not trustworthy. I was not a good sister. I was not a good daughter. Did your parents ever tell you they were disappointed in you? Type yes in the chat if they did. Because for me, this was not the only time that happened for me. I disappointed my mom when I didn't work hard on a project and maybe I got a C. I disappointed her when I was rude or when my behavior wasn't great. I remember disappointing her because I spent my allowance on frivolous things like candy. And it wasn't just my mom. I was also worried about disappointing my friends. Like if I didn't show up at our scheduled meeting time, okay, and my kids can't quite understand this, but we didn't have cell phones back in the 80s. And so they were expecting me to show up. And if I didn't show up at the scheduled meeting time, they would be disappointed in me and they would be less likely to be my friend or invite me in the future. They might be disappointed in me if I didn't play the game that they wanted to play. If I didn't do my part in a project at school and teamwork, or if I didn't help them with their, latest scheme or whatever was happening, or even if I couldn't do those things because sometimes I wasn't available, but it felt like they were disappointed in me. And I remember a time where I was grounded and I couldn't go with my friend and her family to the lake. We had planned to go to the lake with her and she was so excited for us to do this together. And we've been talking about it all week and I had made some poor behavior choice and got myself grounded. So I felt like I had disappointed both my mom and my friend. So my mind made programs to avoid disappointing people. Because one of the biggest safeties that your mind is concerned about is fitting in with your community. Because when your brain was evolving, being cast out of your social group meant pretty much like not surviving. So being accepted and maintaining your acceptance in your group is like of the utmost importance to your mind. Priority one, at least like to my subconscious mind, right? You're not aware of the programs. And so I have programs that tell me that it is unsafe to disappoint people and that I must do everything possible not to let them down. And so now I'm a grown-up. And when I try to do something for myself, like, I don't know, go to bed, my programs kick in and they're like, wait, before you do anything for yourself, you need to make sure you're not disappointing anyone. Will people be disappointed that the Tupperware is not clean for the lunches in the morning? Probably. I'll just do that before I go to bed. Oh yeah, it's Jersey Day tomorrow. I've got to clean my son's jersey so he can wear it to school because he'll be disappointed if it's not available for him to wear. Oh, look, there's some toys scattered around. I am sure my kids will have a better morning if they are not tripping all over them. I'm just going to tidy this up real quick. And when I finally get to my room, I feel that I need to do this 5-step skincare routine so that I don't disappoint my husband by aging too naturally. Okay, you get my point. Your mind has created programs that tell you that taking care of everyone else will keep you safe, will maintain your status as a needed and respected member of your community. But very rarely do we have any programs about disappointing ourselves. So while we learn to attune to the needs of those around us, very rarely do we learn to attune to the needs of ourselves beyond just fitting in and staying safe. Because what happened when I put my own needs first? I disappointed people. So we did an exercise a few weeks ago where we listed our most important people in our lives. And at the center of that circle, we listed the most important people in our lives. And so far, no one that I've ever done this exercise with has ever listed themselves in that list of most important people. Our mind has learned that sacrificing ourselves for the needs of others is what keeps us safe. And we, the juggler, exist only to keep the balls in the air. But even though our programs tell us that this is how we stay alive, it just doesn't feel like a great way to live. And the way that we start reprogramming that is to show our mind that it is safe now by doing it. We are not children anymore. We are not in high school anymore. We need to do things for ourselves so that we can continue to juggle. And most importantly, well, for me anyways, we need to model taking time for ourselves so that the next generation has different programs, so that our kids can live happier and nourish themselves when they become adult jugglers too. So this week in the replenishment retreat, which starts tomorrow at noon Eastern, the whole goal is to teach you how to care for yourself while keeping all of those balls in the air. Because putting all the balls down would be like taking a vacation without the kids to a tropical island where all of your needs are taken care of. And that's great. But that's like, how often? You know, once a year, once a lifetime, never. That is not the reality of our juggler. That doesn't help you day to day. So we are going to learn how to make small spaces in our day while we are juggling. And that's going to allow us to slide self-care and replenishing activities into our daily grind. Tangible things that we can do while we are looking after everything. And just by showing up to the retreat each day, you are already starting to reprogram your mind. Isn't that great? Just by showing up here today, just by being here today, just by taking time for yourself, you are starting to reprogram your mind. Heck yes, high five to you. So now your challenge is to solidify that new programming that you're creating right now by being here, by creating a positive feeling around it. Feelings are very important to your programming. Your mind remembers things that it feels. So can you say to yourself, heck yes, I did it. Put I did it in the chat. If you can say, heck yes, I am modeling self-love by showing up here today. Can you say that to yourselves? Can you just pat yourself on the back and be super, super proud of that? Because you're saying to your kids by going to this meeting now, because it feels good to you, you're showing them that doing things for you is a healthy part of being a grown-up and being a parent. So I challenge you, when you go to bed tonight, think about how proud you are to be showing up for yourself and to be showing your kids how to do that. If you can tie that positive emotion to showing up for yourself, you start reprogramming faster and faster. And tomorrow, we kick off an entire week of busting through old programming so that you can shed your mind BS, live happier, and get more done. So if you haven't signed up yet, the link is in my header. Grab a spot, meet me on Zoom tomorrow, noon to 1 Eastern. We're going to have an amazing time figuring out what self-care looks like. Until then, have an amazing day, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow.